Hello! Welcome to the third episode in this mini-ish virtual pinball table build. If you've not managed to catch the first two episodes, I urge you to go and watch them. I do quite a lot of sanding of corners for your entertainment. I have a special hole to drill. Stop smirking at the back. The plunger arrived in the post. I bought it from China and wasn't expecting it to arrive until later in the build, but somehow it managed to wing its way, or float, over to me. After quite a lot of meticulous calculations, I stuck a pin in the front of the cabinet and decided it would go here. Later on I'll find my guess was lucky, as it just clears important internal components. The main worry is the screen. As long as you miss that and keep away from the flipper buttons, you should be okay. Notice the heavy thud. The spring is meant to launch a big metal ball, so it's too strong on its own. Remember this for the next episode. The weather outside is pretty grim, so cutting boards for the back box will have to wait. For now, I decided to start arranging the insides. I was tempted to dismantle the bass speaker, but I'm worried that doing this will affect its sound, so I'm going to try and keep it whole. I need it near the back so I can pop the back door open to access the volume controls on this and the surround sound feedback amps if needed. The volume will be mostly handled in software. I want the PC out of its metal case. It's very heavy, and if I did keep it, I'd have to chop bits off. The CPU heatsink was screwed directly to the case. I'll need a way to make this stable. I dig into my stash of PC screws and scrounge up some motherboard standoffs. Some scrap ply will do as a base for the PC components. I want everything to be easily removable, so mounting it on a board will help make this happen. Later, I'll superglue these standoffs in place. I've already fixed a couple of scraps of MDF to support the odd-shaped power supply, and now I'm fixing some more scraps of pine to the sides to stop it moving about. I was considering changing the CPU heatsink for something more generic, but this works, so why change it? To improve its performance, I seal some of the gaps between the shroud and the fan. This should work fine, and the fan is reasonably quiet. The hard drive power connectors, which are fed directly from the motherboard, are quite short. I'm limited on placement. I try some double-sided tape as a temporary measure, but it doesn't take, so I cut some scraps of wood and superglue them in place. I'm poking out the power button for the PC here. I'll have to extend these wires and make some kind of control panel at the back of the cabinet for this and maybe the speaker volume control. Inside the cabinet, this board will rest on the battens that join the base and the side panels. I cut some more of that same width wood and fix it underneath the board supporting the computer for extra support and to give me something to screw fixings into. The front panel USB ports will come in very handy. Wait for it. Now I can screw these exciters onto the cabinet sides. They need to be very firmly fixed, so I'm using all 6 screw holes. Yeah, I missed one. I'm trying to place these in as much empty space on the side as I can. The closer they are to anything solid, the more that will affect the sound quality. In an ideal world, the ones at the front need to be as close to the flipper buttons as possible without being too close to the corners of the cabinet. At the back of the cabinet I have a bit more room to play with, but again, ideally these need to be under the back of the playfield screen. Due to the computer case being low profile, I had to remove the mounting brackets from the sound card and the graphics card while I tested the system. Now I don't have the case in the way, I can put these back on. This is very soft and very thin plywood. Just a minute with a chisel will give me the slots I need here. I need something to screw the expansion cards to support them. I did initially consider making a crossbar that would fix to either side of the cabinet, but that would make things difficult to remove without taking that out. So in the end I decided to make a small frame right around the back plates of the cards and attach it to the plywood base. Not sponsored by Gorilla or anyone. This went so well in rehearsal. Oh, come on. How hard can it be? Seriously. Well done, you made that look super easy. Something I didn't think about is the DisplayPort on the graphics card is partially blocked. That will need adjusting. The observant among you will notice I had to remove the corner of the new expansion card support frame TM. I was not able to get the PC board into the cabinet as the frame was jamming against the side. A minute with a saw and it was all good. So I've decided to put everything into the cabinet and give it a test in place, including the new surround sound feedback exciters. I'm just throwing this together for now. When I put this in for real, I'll have proper cable management. Yeah, another product placement sponsorship opportunity. This time for that giant of home electronics, Minger. I'm wiring up all the grounds first in a big loop. I'll probably keep this for the final build. I had a couple of gold leaf switch buttons left over from Project Terricade. Check out the videos if you haven't already. I will be buying 4 of these and not in this disgusting orange for the final build, but for now they will be helpful in testing things out. For the front, I had 3 old buttons salvaged from my very first arcade build I made years ago. They are terrible and cheap, but they are the right size and will work for testing. I'm not sure what buttons I'll be using in the final build. I might go for permanently lit LED buttons. Careful, mate, you'll get that big nose stuck in there. A temporary connector strip will make it easier to organise the wiring for now. I'll make something more elegant than this later. The Pinscape software and controller are able to emulate a keyboard. This is ideal for a pinball setup as almost all pinball software use the same left shift, right shift button layout. All I need to do is wire up the flipper, temporary plunger, start and select buttons to the right pins on the KL25Z. Holy cable management rat's nest. And I just discovered the DisplayPort problem. Not quite enough. It fits! With everything inside and connected up, I spent some time getting it all working again and setting up the surround sound feedback system, and wow, it really works. I still have some fine tuning to do, but I need to get this thing built before I try to do any of that, so I've put that aside for now. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did and want to see more, it would be really great if you could give me a like and maybe even a subscribe. And spread the word. Do you know someone that might want to watch a middle-aged man nearly stab himself with a chisel? Send them a link. In the next episode, I hope to build the back box and get a working pinball plunger. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.